FBI's top agent.
Dad, son, what are you doing here? You just saw Cherkoff murder someone. That means he's gonna kill me?
Is going back undercover.
I'm gonna hide you. How you gonna hide a swag big as this?
But this time, he's got backup.
Law, law, law. You're a difficult child, Charmaine Daisy Pierce. Oh, my great niece. And you better start sounding like it before you scare someone.
How's this? Swing low, swing.
Martin Lawrence.
I'm the new house mother, Big Momma.
That's the understatement of the century.
Shake what your mama gave you. Shake what your mama.
More like Mary J. Bolt.
Amen!
Must be our new student, Charmaine. Just in time for figure day.
Now, if you would kindly just drop the sheet.
Say what? Whoops, there it is.
Big Mommas, like father, like son.
It's become a bit of a tradition on this show to talk about bad sequels to movies that were actually really good or underrated, or sequels that just plain shouldn't have existed. There's lots of spillover into some of these movies. A lot of them are bad for their own reasons. Some of them are bad straight-to-video sequels. Some of them are sequels that were made long after the original and don't even star the original people involved and weren't made by the original people. Then you got ones that look like they should have gone straight to video but somehow did go to theaters. And every so often you do get the occasional sequel that's bad that actually does have the original cast and actually did have some of the original crew involved. And I guess this is one of them. I mean, it's got the main star in it again. We're talking about Big Mommas 3, Like Father, Like Son. After stepson Trent witnesses a murder, FBI agent Malcolm Turner brings back Big Momma, his plus-size alter ego, to help solve the crime. Big Momma goes deep undercover at a girls' school of the performing arts, but this time he has Trent and Trent's female alter ego Charmaine as backup. The duo must try to find the killer before the killer finds them. But complicating matters is Trent's crush on a student. Full disclosure, I vaguely remember the first Big Momma movie. I don't remember anything from the second one. I had to skim the Wikipedia and IMDb to see if there was anything of note from that one. And I did watch the trailer for it.
The biggest mama ever.
It was not very good. Basically, this was Martin Lawrence trying to copy what Eddie Murphy had already done with the Nutty Professor movies. And I already talked about the second Nutty Professor movie. And yet, as much as I didn't really care for that movie, this was so much worse in comparison. The basic gist of the first movie is that you have an FBI agent who has to go undercover by dressing up as an old woman, and we've seen this kind of premise done plenty of times, sometimes good and sometimes bad. At this point in time, 2011, we were pretty sick of it from Eddie Murphy. I mean, this was long after Norbit, and at that point, Eddie Murphy was hiding in a bunker somewhere with other SNL people who dropped off, like Mike Myers. The only other person that was doing this kind of stuff was Tyler Perry with the Medea movies. And I feel like those are made specifically for the people who like Tyler Perry movies. Everyone else is just kind of like, oh God, that exists, or they're going, oh dear God, no. In the case of Big Momma, it's like there's like 5 or 6 years in between each of the movies. Like the second one came out in 2006, 2007, somewhere around there. So the fact that there was even any kind of demand from anyone for a third Big Momma movie, let alone one that goes to the theater at that point in 2011, it's kind of baffling. First of all, the movie is just the biggest turnoff from the first scene, because you have Martin Lawrence, who, like I said, is an FBI agent, and he's chasing after his mailman in this big high-speed chase just because he wasn't delivering mail fast enough. Oh, and the mailman is played by Ken Jeong.
Just give me what I want.
Whoa, that's a federal offense, all right? Only the mailman touches the mail.
You do realize I'm packing, don't you? Yeah, I could pop one in your ass.
Okay, all right, just relax.
Do I gotta pop one?
I gotta say, 2011 was a good year for Ken Jeong. That man was getting work left and right. I mean, almost any movie that came out that year, he was in it. He was in this, Transformers 3, Hangover 2, The Zookeeper. He was definitely getting a lot of work simply because he was that one funny Asian guy from The Hangover. Well, keeping in the tradition that they pretty much nix people who were in the first few movies. Like the first movie, you had Nia Long was the love interest. I don't remember if she was in the second one. Paul Giamatti was in the first one. The main villain in it was Terrence Howard. Well, obviously they weren't going to bring him back unless they wanted his character to come back for revenge or something, but Terrence Howard wasn't going to do that. And the second movie had Chloe Grace Moretz and Zachary Levi. They don't show up. One of my favorite things about how they can't get a lot of the characters to come back, and this is a popular trope in a lot of bad movie sequels, Martin Lawrence is on the phone and they pretty much just say, oh, she can't interact with you in the next 72 hours, which is basically the nice way of saying she doesn't want to be in this movie.
I need to speak to my wife, Sherry.
I'm sorry, no phone calls allowed.
Yeah, well, I know no phone calls are allowed, but you see, it's an emergency. Our son just got accepted.
Sir, your wife is in complete isolation for the next 72 hours.
No, instead you got his stepson, Trent, played by Brandon T. Jackson. And if the name isn't familiar, he was Al Pacino, the rapper, in Tropic Thunder. It's funny that in this movie they have him basically be a wannabe rapper who's aspiring to become the next big thing in hip-hop, because his rap name is The Prodigy. And every time he does one of his songs, it always has the chorus play that's literally just lyrical miracle.
I'm a lyrical miracle. Hey, baby, look way better get with it. Stay sick with it. They saying I'm a lyrical miracle. Hey.
Every time they played that, I just couldn't help but think of that one Filthy Frank video where he was making fun of bad SoundCloud rappers.
I'm a spiritual, lyrical, individual, spiritual, miracle, lyrical, individual, spiritual, miracle, individual.
Oh damn, son. The Prodigy is up there with Politics with a Z. But aside from Tropic Thunder, this guy has not had a very good track record. He was in this. He was basically the poor man's Chris Tucker in a movie called Lottery Ticket. He was the half man, half goat guy in Percy Jackson. And if you're familiar with Blockbusters show, he was Kevin Durant's manager in Thunderstruck.
Can I touch fingers? Whoa! Oh, that worked. That had to work. Give it back. Give it back.
He wants Martin Lawrence to sign this contract that could potentially lead to a record deal, but Martin Lawrence says, no, I want you to go to college, stay in school, and get a proper education. You're going to Duke. And after he chats with his friends, they say, hey, go to your dad when he's on the clock, when he is doing his FBI work, and get him to sign it when he's not paying attention, which obviously is not going to work. Later, Martin Lawrence and some other guy are doing a sting to catch the big bad Russian mobster villain for the movie, whose name is Cherkov. Because you get it, he's Russian and his name kind of sounds like jerk off. This guy goes in for the undercover work, but he ends up getting found out and he gets shot. All the while, Trent is there trying to get his dad to sign the papers, but instead he ends up witnessing the murder and then they speed out of there. And this is one of those movies where the FBI basically consists of two people, like Martin Lawrence and somebody on the phone that occasionally pops up. But that's about it. There is like no backup whatsoever in this entire movie. And realistically, I know we shouldn't be looking for realism in Big Mommas 3, but I'm just saying, realistically speaking, you would probably have it that the FBI would send 2 female agents to go undercover, since the big MacGuffin that they're after, which is this critical piece of information, this flash drive that has all this stuff that could put Cherkov and his men away. It's hidden somewhere at an all-girls academy for performing arts.
Should we be calling FBI or something?
No, FBI's got a leak. Cherkov knew we were coming. You just saw Cherkov murder someone. We can't go home.
So what then?
You gotta do is get that flash drive. Has enough dirt on Cherkov to put him away forever.
Just like in the other 2 movies, this means that Martin Lawrence has to dust off the Big Momma costume, and he also has to have Trent go undercover with him. He's not an FBI agent, not a cop, has no proper training, but because he witnessed the murder, that means that he has to tag along. It's basically the Some Like It Hot formula, as many other people have said before me. It's that typical men going undercover while in drag. Like I said earlier, the fact that this is a 3rd entry, if this was the first movie of this, people probably would just roll their eyes and be like, oh wow, yeah, even by 2011, that's stupid. I mean, shit, it was bad enough that Adam Sandler did it in the same year with Jack and Jill. But, I mean, this formula is just so played out. And the fact that you have another guy who has to dress up like a woman alongside Martin Lawrence doesn't make it better. it just results in a lot of the same shit that you'd expect in a movie like this. I mean, the first scene where they have to put on the costumes, which they just do in a shopping mall, they're going down the escalator and just kind of talking to each other and have to lay down their game plan. First joke that they could do is that Martin Lawrence hits him in the nuts.
A difficult child, Charmaine Daisy Pierce.
Who are you talking about?
My great niece, and you better start sounding like it before you scare someone.
Oh, right. In that case, how's this? Swing low, sweet. Huh?
So right away, you got the easy genital injury joke.
Know why they call it the Nutcracker?
And when they actually get there, it's a lot of the stuff that I was expecting. You've got the typical mean girl who runs the school. She's this blonde, bitchy, catty girl.
I'm Jasmine. And here's the 4-in-1 you probably didn't get on your tour. I call the shots around here.
There's the girl that Brandon T. Jackson falls in love with, and she's going to be the love interest for him, but he can't say that he loves her right away because has to be undercover and disguised as a girl.
Be careful. Oh my gosh, here, let me help clean you up. It's cool. I'm Haley Robinson.
And then eventually there's going to be some liar reveal trope at the end where she's like, oh, you lied to me. I can't believe you, but oh, you ended up saving my life, so I guess it's okay. They do that.
Look, this flash drive got evidence that put away some really bad people. That's why I've been working undercover.
What? So, this was just some kind of job?
Lots of jokes about Brandon T. Jackson being horny around other girls, but Martin Lawrence has to reel him back, like slap him upside the head or step on his foot or something like that. There's lots of that.
Yeah, Mia.
Damn! Oh.
Art college jokes, like they have a nude model scene where, Martin Lawrence doesn't want his son to be looking at a naked model for an art class. So then he's like, no, don't objectify this girl. And then they say, oh, well, why don't you do it, Big?
But what you're doing, with this woman getting naked, what you're doing is you're reinforcing a terrible stereotype.
I think I agree with Big Mama.
You do?
Yes. We have never once had a full-figured model. It's shameful.
Shameful.
Yeah, so how about it, Big Mama?
Excuse me?
I think you should be our model.
Amen.
They decide to tempt fate and have it that Martin Lawrence as Big Mama is about to get naked in front of everybody.
These girls need role models.
Well, I got a lot of roles, but they're not exactly the kind you want.
Oh, come on, Big Mama. Let it all hang out.
Oh, no, you don't want it to all hang out.
Show us what a real woman looks like.
No amount of brain bleach could erase that horrifying image. I have a joke where there's a guy at the college, in this case it's a janitor, played by Faison Love, who, even coming from a guy who was in Who's Your Caddy, had more dignity to be in this fucking shit. But he, of course, doesn't see that Big Mama is Martin Lawrence in drag, so he falls in love with her. There's a scene where Martin Lawrence has to go on a date with him because he thinks that he has the critical information that they're looking for, but it just turns out that he wants to play Twister with him. And
Looks like we all out of green. Game over. No. I got you, Green. Okay. Go ahead, reach for the stars, baby. Oh, hell no.
saying all of these plot beats out loud physically hurts me. One thing that I was not expecting from this movie, and I'm assuming that it was the early 2010s, Glee was popular at the time, there is a musical number in the middle of the movie. Now, I did not go to an arts college, but I am pretty sure that this is bullshit. Brandon T. Jackson's character, before they even sit down to have lunch, the blonde mean girl stereotype is like, oh, well, around here you have to sing for your supper. Can you sing, dance, act? And what happens is he's like, pass me the mic. And it just breaks out into a song and dance number.
Don't wanna give it up, yeah, I'm cool with that. That's fine. Besides, who knew I could rap? I got skills.
Full on auto tune with his singing. There's music going on in the background that's just fully rehearsed. People start doing like choreographed dances in the middle of it, and it is so weird and out of place.
Keep talking about the guy you like. First you put your arms around me. Then what else did he do, girl? Then you put your arms around me.
This is not a musical. In fact, I don't think I've seen a musical number this out of place since like Garbage Pail Kids movie.
Come on, kids, take a shot. Show them what we really got.
Even as stupid as this movie is, I did not expect them to go that stupid. You probably predict a lot of what's going to happen, like Martin Lawrence and Brendan T. Jackson have a back and forth where he says like, oh, well, I'll help you, Martin Lawrence, as long as you sign my contract, you know, as long as I'm able to get out of this alive. And Martin Lawrence says, okay, yeah, I'll sign the contract as long as you help me stop Cherkoff and his men. Cherkoff sends his guys out there to try and find them and kill them, and of course they screw up.
Hundreds of these. Not bad.
Stereotypical Russian bad guy that you see in movies like this. The two bumbling hitmen screw up, and there's even a chase scene where they have to hijack a student driver car.
All right, now take it up to 80.
80?
You heard me, 80!
Great. I'm being followed by a fat lady in a driver's ed car.
Of course, Cherkoff's men come back to him and say that they didn't kill the main characters, and he basically throws the typical, like, you idiots! You let the heroes get away!
You idiots! How could you lose him?
Good to see that stereotypical evil Russians from, like, the 80s were making a comeback at that point. Meanwhile, Brandon T. Jackson gets closer with the girl that he wants to get with, and of course she's like, hey, you're my new best friend! Let's do a shopping montage! And
What are you waiting for? Take your clothes off.
Oh. Girl, someone's outside. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
he has to downplay his horniness and his awkwardness because he's undercover and he has to keep pretending that he's a girl. And eventually, he's able to set himself up on a date.
What is your type?
He's artistic, sensitive, interested in people besides himself. And he likes long, sweet, slow, lingering kisses.
Damn. Damn.
I like how even though he's played as like a slick, stereotypical rapper wannabe, he's still really awkward with chicks. And on top of all of this craziness, we also have the obligatory talent show that comes up in the third act. Because why not? You know, it's a school for arts, so we gotta have the talent show. And the girl, her talent is that she plays the piano, and Brendan T. Jackson goes on stage to sing with her, but
Wardrobe malfunction.
this is when they have that moment where she's like, oh, you lied to me, I can't believe this. But then Cherkoff's men start to come after them. Cherkoff himself starts to chase after them. Finally find the music box with the flash drive on it, and this was funny, unintentionally so, but I like how they have this back and forth between Brendan T. Jackson and Martin Lawrence, and Martin Lawrence is like, you know, it's like, that was really stupid to take off your disguise in front of all those people, you know, this isn't about chasing some girl. And then Brandon T. Jackson is like, oh, well, I did it because I wanted to protect her and make sure that she didn't get hurt.
You act like you the man. And you were starting to convince me. But it's all an act, you know why? Because a real man wouldn't risk his life for some girl.
Look, she ain't just some girl. You did the same thing when you met my mom.
This is nothing like that.
I just find it funny that that's basically their way of admitting that they're just doing the same shit they did in the first movie again. Really, what needs to be said? Big chase scene, they defeat Cherkoff's men, they're taken away. Martin Lawrence is about ready to sign the contract, and Brandon T. Jackson tears it up and says that he wants to go to Duke instead and get a college education. And then they have a throwaway line about how, oh, we don't have to tell your mom, Nia Long, about any of this. The phone call at the beginning said that she was going to be out of commission for 72 hours, and I'm pretty sure that the events of this movie were way longer than that.
Son, I was thinking, your mom's doesn't need to know everything.
You want me to lie to moms?
It's just some things she don't need to know.
Oh, okay. You don't want her busting that vein in her forehead over nothing.
Of course, if you stay to the credits, you gotta end with an obligatory rap number. And sure enough, not only do they play the stupid lyrical miracle song in its entirety, they also have Big Momma do a guest rap verse.
Mama in the house and I'm getting my rap on. Don't think I can't hang a party all night long. Now I ain't here, preacher, you know how Big Mama be. Now give it up for my man, Prodigy.
Fuck you, movie. I'm not kidding. In the several years I've been doing Blockbuster videos and some of the movies that I've had to talk about, this movie looks like it should have gone straight to video in the same way that something like Daddy Day Camp should have gone straight to video. This does not look like something that goes to theaters. It feels like it's in that same vein because I didn't love Daddy Daycare or anything. I just thought the movie was fine, mediocre at best maybe. But the second one was just so much worse. And in the same vein, the first Big Momma movie, from what I can remember of it, wasn't that great, but shit, man, this was really, really bad. I feel like even if people were looking for this kind of movie, they would have been just fine watching it if it went straight to video. That, like, was there really that much of a demand to see a third Big Momma movie on the big screen? Because much like other bad movies I've looked at before, stuff like Thunderstruck and Diary of a Wimpy Kid 4, Daddy Day Camp, stuff like that, this movie is so fucking cheap looking. It looks like a straight-to-video movie that somehow its way into theaters. Not only is the chemistry between Martin Lawrence and Brandon T. Jackson really half-assed, but the humor is the thing that weighs it down. And in a comedy that's almost 2 hours long, there's not a single funny joke, you know you screwed up. Because a lot of the humor is just the typical, you know, nut shots, pratfalls, awkward humor where, you know, oh, we're guys in drag and, you know, we're running away from people. The same year that Jack and Jill came out, that's amazing that we were having more of these kind of movies back then. 2011 was a Olympiad of bad movies. Holy crap. Last year I talked about Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul, and Judy Moody and the Not Bummer Summer. But next time on the Blockbuster Show, we will be talking about Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day from 2014. So until then, guys, I'm Adam Sykes of the Blockbuster Show, and we will see you guys in the next video.
As God is my witness, I promise to do everything I can into fooling these young women into thinking I'm not an undercover narcotics agent, but rather their sorority house mother. Huge Mama Fatso.